What's going on, guys? Welcome to my channel. I'm Dino and this is part 2 of our trip to Brazil. As you saw in part 1, we were down in the southern part of Brazil at Iguaçu Falls and had an awesome time in our first week there at a local resort and just exploring the area. For the second part of this trip, we drove up the west border to the small town of Bonito. The town is surrounded by beautiful reservations, natural hikes, caves, and a ton of other really cool things that we got to do. So we're out walking to this giant cavern. You can hear the parrots. Apparently. It's full of, oh, here we go. This is it. Ooh. Our first stop was a bird sanctuary, and this place was a giant crater with all kinds of toucans, parakeets, macaws. If you go, make sure to have some binoculars with you, as it's quite a large area to cover, and you'll get a better view of the birds. Our first 2 nights we stayed at this incredible mini resort called Hotel Santa Esmeralda.
Yeah, baby!
Yeah, we're out here. It's dark. I don't know what these things are. Oh my gosh. Look at these guys. This is crazy. The next day while we were in Bonito, we went to a local underground cave. It's about a half-hour to 40-minute experience with the walk all the way to the bottom. There's this massive underground lake that's pristine blue. You can see all the way to the bottom. Obviously, we weren't allowed in it to keep the area untouched, but you can walk down there, and there's also bats sleeping there during the day as well. So that's really cool. Lots of stalactite. And then right after that, we went to our next location and had a quick lunch. Also, if you're in the area, in the countryside, I don't know if this is available in all of Brazil, but in that area, make sure you try the local meats. Local wild boar is available on the menu. The local caiman is awesome. I had that a couple times. It tastes like a mix of chicken and fish. Really good flavor. And right after that, this is probably my favorite activity that we did the whole time we were in Bonito, was snorkeling in the rainforest. I can't describe to you how cool this was. The whole experience is probably about 3 to 4 hours, I think. If you do go, make sure you plan about half a day for this whole experience. They give you wetsuits and kind of prep you, and that takes a while. So once we got to the actual river, we hop in and take about 10 minutes to get used to the cold water. Thankfully, we had those wetsuits, and off we went. There's a guide way up in the front and a guy on a boat in the back, just to make sure no animals get too close. The section they took us to was fairly shallow, so you're able to stand up at any point and touch the bottom. One thing that did pop in my mind though was a friend we had talked to the week before near Iguaçu Falls. They were telling us that when they went on their snorkeling trip, it was a different area, but they saw a horse femur bone at the bottom of the river they were swimming at. And apparently a giant boa constrictor was in the area. So that was a little interesting. I wasn't looking out for bones, but I suppose constrictors aren't dangerous when they're not hungry. and thankfully we didn't run into any of them. So right after our snorkeling adventure, we got out of the water and took a small hike to another area where they had a zip line, and we got to hang out for a bit there, go a couple times on the zip line and just hang out in the water. And we had like a nice light warm rain, so it was just perfect. This whole adventure was great. For the last part, we ended up going to a ranch called Fazenda San Francisco for 2 nights. And this one, they have wildlife everywhere, and it's amazing. You got emus, hawks, parakeets, parrots, macaws, armadillos, roadrunners, capybara. I mean, they got animals everywhere. And these animals are literally just walking around the ranch. If you get too close, they'll kind of run off, but the ranch hands make sure that people don't feed the birds anything except during specific meals that the staff provide for the animals. And the animals are used to humans walking around, so it's a great experience all around.
Take it.
Toucans. So the first part of this, and this is probably my second favorite thing we did, was we went piranha fishing. And if you guys do this, make sure to take bug spray because you will get eaten alive by mosquitoes. But we spent about an hour fishing, and once we caught an adequate amount of piranhas, our guy, what he did was he stuffed the piranha's mouth with bamboo, and then he throws the fish out for local hawks and other birds to come down, and as you can see, they swoop down and they grab the fish. He also had a local caiman trained that would come out when he slapped the water, and he would basically describe the parts of the caiman and how the animal operated in the area, and then he would feed it one of the piranhas.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah.
So cool.
Cross.
And to finish off that part, that night we went on a local safari just to see the nightlife and hopefully spot a leopard. It was hit or miss. We saw a bunch of other cool birds that came out at night, but the main event we ended up seeing was a bobcat, I think. It was some kind of cat that comes out at night. Didn't look like a leopard, but hey, that was the closest we got to it. You can't win them all.
Aqui à noite não tem a mutuca, então por isso que a gente tá vendo muito jacaré fora d'água. E durante... De novo tá tudo.
The other nightlife I got to see was this little armadillo guy hanging outside our apartment, but he took off as soon as he saw me coming.
The beginning of a Brazilian churrasco. We got the rice, the salmon, the salad. We got all kinds of food on the buffet. This is awesome. This is right before all the meats.
Octopus.
Shrimp and octopus.
And salmon.
We got the dried filet raw, sun-dried tomatoes wrapped in cheese. Got crab, got salmon, got shrimp. Got all kinds of other stuff.
Can I have all my contacts?
Dino is in meat heaven. And we're all just along for the ride to watch him eat.
And of course we got to finish this video with another Brazilian churrasco. And I think this is the best churrasco I've ever been to, period. My in-laws loved it. I don't think I've eaten somewhere this good. The meat was flawless, especially their picanha. It was just butter melting in your mouth. And they had so many other great things. This was definitely a lucky find for us. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed that video. We'll have 3 out soon. And don't forget to like and click subscribe if you like what you saw. I'll see you next time.
Damage done.
If you want to finish that one.